Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bumbershoot, where we're covering life scales with humor and heart. Today is the day after the weekend of Stars of the Valley. And of course, we've got Rhonda and Tracy here.
Hello. Hi.
I tried to get Allison. She said no.
Oh.
Yes, I ratted you out, Allison.
Come on, Allison.
She's too tired, want to go home. No, I think she wants the sun. We got a weird, week this week in SoCal. It's like 80 degrees all week.
It's going to be 90 degrees on Wednesday.
Yeah, 90 degrees. I have to be in a car on the way to Orange County to get my car fixed. Darn
Perfect
it.
for the golf tournament, though.
Yeah, it was so awesome. So we kind of set you up to know a little bit about Charity for Charity and what we do and Stars of the Valley Gala that was coming up. And it was this weekend. Golf was Friday at Temecula Creek Inn in Temecula, California. And Gala was on Saturday. But golf, you guys, was it so beautiful?
It was perfect. It was the perfect day.
It was. Last year we got rained on. This year we got I called it was a glorious day.
We got poured on.
Last year, yeah.
Everyone was cracking up about the umbrellas this year. Like this year you give us umbrellas.
When I think it's Murphy's Law, right?
Right.
If we didn't have them, it would have rained again.
That's what I said. I'm like, just caring.
Why are you so far from your mic? You got the good one this week.
I thought I could be farther away.
So you guys, we as far as the mics go, we realized that we switched with Rhonda and Tracy last week and then realized it was the microphone and not Tracy's soft-spoken voice. No. So I just ordered the right one. And then I do want to get the guests one because obviously we want them to sound really good, but there was only one more on Amazon, so I got to track it down. Anyway, so back to golf. We 144 golfers is typically for an 18 whole tournament. We sold 152 golfers. So we oversold, which is awesome. Sell out every year. And all the fun things that were on all the holes and golfers just had a blast that
much
day.
Fun. Yeah.
The feedback was great. And we got Maddox's. So did I bring up the beneficiaries last week?
Yeah, I think
I did. I can't remember. Yeah.
Me neither. I feel like you did, but.
Well, just in case you didn't listen to last week's episode, our star beneficiaries for this year are Cameron, Maddox, and Jana. And go online to charityforcharity.org or starsofthevalley.org to check out. They have each one of them, which is very different this year. Usually we'll have bennies that have like a one name diagnosis, but all three this year have multiple diagnoses. So, but our little Maddox, the middle one, because Cameron's 8, Maddox just turned 11, and Jana is, I don't know, in her late 30s, I think.
30s.
Yeah. Anyways, so Maddox got pneumonia about almost 3 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago now, and ended up at Rady's and was in the hospital, and we were all praying for him, and he was having some panic attacks, and it's really frustrating for the family. And of course, they wanted to be at Stars, and we all wanted him at Stars. And so Maddox, he was still in the hospital on Friday. His dad and his little brother came to the golf tournament to thank everyone for supporting and check it out and just be there. And so it was fun. We took him on a tour of half of the course, and they got to meet a lot of people and thank a lot of vendors in person and golfers in person. So that was really cool. And while we were, so Maddox was in the ICU, the pediatric ICU, so I guess they call it PICU. And before we got on the golf cart to take them around, Rosario, his wife, who was down with Maddox, called all excited and said he got released from ICU and he got to go down to a regular room. Well, that had to happen in order for him to have a chance to come to Stars. Mm-hmm. So it made us really hopeful that he would get released maybe Saturday morning. So I'll follow up with that when we get to Gala, but golf, it was fun for Jason. Then he said, I have a buddy playing in the tournament. And I said, well, we're going to cover half of the holes, but we're not going to get to the other half. And he kept looking out for his buddy. And wouldn't you know, if it wasn't the last hole we stopped at, that his buddy was at. And so he got to see him, which was really cool. And, we just had a great time. All of our vendors, it's not easy to have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get set up and serve people all day.
It's a long day.
But they do it every year, and we're just so blessed by that. And same with the volunteers. It is fun to sit. I used to volunteer at a golf tournament, and it's fun.
It is fun. I enjoy
hang out. Yeah, it is fun. But sometimes you're not doing what you would pick to do, sometimes you're by yourself so we're so grateful to all the volunteers. And then Temecula Creek, oh my gosh, that golf staff.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They
are
so sweet.
So great. They're all great.
They're so accommodating.
Yep.
Anything we needed or asked, they
100%
totally complied and helped us out with. And Hannah and Stephanie, shout out to you guys. We ended up inviting Hannah to the gala the next night, and she came. Yeah, so she was so cute because she comes up to us at the check-in, and she's like at golf, and she said, "Gosh, everybody's wearing Stars of the Valley gear. I feel like I need to wear it. I want to be part of you guys." And I was like, "Of course." So I got her a sweatshirt and gave her a hat, and I thought that's a really great statement when somebody that is servicing you wants to be part of you. That's pretty special.
That is special.
Because we're no easy task. We're high maintenance. So that was really cool. And, it was just great. And everybody, making sure they got everything packed in the trailer while I had to head over to Gala to work with the production part of Gala. So, it was great. Thank you to everybody who had something to do with golf, whether you golfed, whether you donated, sponsored, you were food on a hole, whatever you did, we thank you and appreciate you. We will be putting up all the sponsors on our website in this next week. It's a lot of people think, okay, now the gala's over, you're done. And it's like, no, we're not done. No. There's a lot of follow-up. So we'll be spending the next couple of weeks doing that. But we had great reviews for golf, and it was a really fantastic day. So awesome. And I don't know the other two names, but golf, I've got to shout them out because I did shout them out at the end of the gala, but I meant to shout them out when we played the video recap, which was a little earlier, and all the trophies were there. So, but nobody picked them up because I announced it at the end before we started dancing. But if you were on Brian Haywood and Justin Carter's team, you were the winners of golf. So that was first place.
Congratulations.
Congrats to you guys. I think Justin Carter's mama listens to us. So Shelly in Georgia, your boy won. And then gala, then we roll that night. We go and we do a bunch of stuff to prepare for the next day.
At Pechanga
Resort Casino. And then I stay the night there and wake up the next morning and start all over.
Going.
Yeah. I was doing seating until I closed my eyes at, I think it was 11:30. And then I started dozing off, and then I woke up really fast, and I was like, shoot, I forgot somebody that they texted. So I woke up into that. It's really hard to put your mind to rest when you have so much on, on your mind. Is. So my sister Brandy stayed with me that night, and we got good night's sleep. The next morning I ordered room service. My mom got us the rooms. Apparently she gambles at Pechanga a lot.
Yeah, Candy.
So she's like, do you want a room? She was surprised. She was like, I'm not even like a high level roller, but they approved her for Friday and Saturday night for us.
That is
for free?
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it cost her.
Even if you're high level, they don't give you weekends.
No.
Ever.
Somehow she got it. I don't know.
Girl.
Oh, high levels they do.
High levels.
High, like jade.
Mid-level.
Jade level they do.
Okay, well, mom's like, no, I'm not that level. Somehow it's a God thing. I swear, God's in the details of everything, and it never ceases to amaze me.
Has to be.
So anyways, we got to stay. So the next morning, which I think I realized, Mom, we ordered room service.
Oopsie.
And I said, Mom, Brandy didn't know it was on your card, and so she goes, it's okay. When you check out, you can just pay for it then. I checked out and nobody asked me for credit cards. So
oops.
I guess I owe my mom for room service. I'll have to remember that. Anyways, so got up and got ready, and then Brandy headed out to her son's hockey game while I went down and started working with the kids, and Pam and Cindy delivering flowers and gift baskets, Mom and Karen and Cam and Vance. We all end up in that room, Michelle, Haley. And we get things ready for the day. And then before you know it, I looked at my watch and it was 3:00. And I'm like, I told Wish Brigade to be here ready for pictures at 4.
Yep.
So green room was still full with, so what Allie Rose Beauty, they make over our beneficiary ladies. And that was really sweet this year. They did
So sweet.
all the moms, they did the 2 daughters, and they did 2 moms of Jana.
Wow.
They all look so pretty.
I know.
Beautiful.
They
Their
did such a
hair
good
was
job.
just so beautiful.
It was. They did a really good job. Allie said, if you need, she goes, Charity, if we have a little pocket of time, we'll do you too. And I was like, you are so sweet. Thank you. But
Did they?
I just get
I
stressed
thought
because
they
if
did
I
yours.
sit,
You looked great too.
you know what's funny about that? And I'm not like, just so you know, I don't know how to do makeup at all. And I always watch like people doing it on, videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I knew how to do my makeup. But so many people, for the first time, I'm going to say, so many people asked me who did my makeup or if I had it done. And I did it myself.
Yeah. Good job.
I did my hair and makeup. Even Gary, my friend from LA, that's the stylist.
Yeah.
He's like, darling, who did your hair and makeup? It looks gorgeous. And I was like, me. And I was like, thank you. He goes, you did? I go, yes, I did. He goes, oh my gosh, you did a beautiful job. And I was like, wow. And then my late night recordings when I was like stuck in the lobby, and then I was getting compliments on Instagram. So I am not a bragger, but I'm really like proud of myself that
You did good.
I didn't think it looked any different than any other day, but apparently it did. So
I mean, doing an updo is hard on yourself. You did a good job.
I just did a loose pony
That's cute.
and pulled it up and then pinned it. My mom's like, that was smart. I'm like, because she goes, you want me to help you? I go, I didn't want like a twisted rolled updo,
It sounds so easy, but it looks so like professional.
It did.
Well, I think it was Brandy I said, I go, Mom, my hairspray's over there. Will you grab it? The red one. She grabbed a purple one and she started spraying. And I go, oh, that's not mine. And she goes, well, this says glass or something like hard as glass or something. And I go, oh, okay. It was probably Brandy's. So she used it. And I was like, she ain't kidding. This thing's hard as glass. Oh my gosh. So yeah, my hair didn't move all night long. So anyway, it ended up getting ready and Wish Brigade showed up early and we all took pictures. So you guys can check out all the pictures on charity. Well, it's on starsofthevalley.org and then there's a link on charityforcharity.org. But we'll also be posting recap videos. But the really coolest thing is that room was full of it's something that we try to tell people, but you can't explain what happens in that room.
Yeah.
Unless you're there, it's nothing you can put into words. And what I mean by that is that, first of all, it's a room full of people with just the most amazing hearts and love for one another.
Love. And it's a vibe.
And people, there's, the valley is 1 degree of separation. We've talked about in other podcasts how we're all connected somehow, some way. So it's really fun to see people like seeing each other. But the most fun to me, one of the most fun things is seeing our past beneficiaries see each other.
Yeah,
And,
that's
a
cute.
lot of them, they see each other at our events throughout the year, but some don't come to more than just stars. And to see their connections is so special to me. I just love it. And that's why I always say it's like we are doing God's work, but God is doing his work. Like it's so much bigger than us. And that's why it can't be explained, because it's like a power higher than us.
A feeling.
And just seeing everybody so happy and so loving, and it's just beautiful. And then the support for the current beneficiaries and their stories, and little Cameron. Okay, so we called Cameron up first, and Cameron, I'll share with the listeners. I woke up Saturday morning, I have to take it back a little bit. Cameron, when we interviewed, it's like, who's your favorite like celebrity? And he's like, Sting. And I'm like, who's Sting? He's like, well,
The singer?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That I think we might have said that
police.
to Shelby. He likes to sing, this. And then she's like, no, he's a wrestler. And I was like, oh, okay. So my son probably knows who it is, but I don't know who it is. So anyway, he goes, yeah. And he goes, I'm going to be him for Halloween this year. And I'm like, oh, you really love this guy. He's like, oh yeah. And he told us all about him and da, 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 da. So I'm like, wow. Okay. So I'm like making notes. We got to get a hold of Sting somehow. And then he loves football. He loves the Bengals, the Lions, and the Colts. But his favorite team's the Bengals. And then he loves Marvel. So these were all the we ask a lot of questions in our interviews to try to find out, because when you ask what would your wish be, people don't really know how to verbalize what would a wish be, I mean, your wish is to be healed. That's really what their wishes are.
Yeah.
But obviously we're not doing God. I mean, we're doing God's work, but different than that. That's his job, and we'll do the rest. So anyway, we okay, sorry. My computer said, "You're still recording, but to avoid interruption." I'm like, that's never happened before. Sorry. Close, and can you did it stop? Maybe not. Okay, sorry guys. Little squirrel.
That way, yeah.
So anyway, those are the things we learned about Cameron. So when we got right on trying to find this wrestler Sting, right? So we're looking on all social media. We're reaching out, Allison and I. When I say we reached out to him, his fan page, his personal page, his son's page. We were all over trying to find him. We reached out to the company he wrestles for, all the things. We weren't getting any bites. So, and then the Bengals, I was like, wait, so in the restaurants, we have a customer, the sweetest man, Isaac Curtis. He sits at the bar every Tuesday at Gourmet Italia. I think sometimes he like changes it up, goes to Bottega, but he's usually at the little bar in Gourmet. And he sits there. Well, I probably shouldn't say every Tuesday. He's going to have fans coming in.
I know.
Whoopsie. I wish we had enough listeners that you'd get inundated, Isaac.
Never know.
People flying from all over the world. So I was like, hey, I could talk to him, see if he could come and kind of represent the Bengals, and we could do something special. So plus our friend Chris also has a lot of connections in football. So those were the things we were thinking about doing. Well, we were running into walls with Sting. And I had gone to Las Vegas for one of my nephews, my non-biological nephew, but nephew nonetheless, Colt Tucker. We went to Vegas for his 21st birthday, celebrated. His birthday's October, but we celebrated in January at NFR. And so Vegas Joe, our friend Vegas Joe, lives up there. And he was with us for dinner. And I met his new girlfriend. Well, she's not new, but she's new to me. And we were talking, and I kept hearing that she worked for radio. So I was also trying to work on Jelly Roll connection for Maddox, because Maddox loves music. And his mom named, besides worship music at church, he loves Zach Bryan and Jelly Roll. So that when I heard she worked for country music radio, I was like, oh, let me ask her about Jelly Roll and Stagecoach. Which, of course, every time we have like the celebrity that one of our beneficiaries want to meet, it's like they're on the uprise or they're untouchable. Yeah. It's like, we're just this little tiny organization in Temecula, California. We're not like Make-A-Wish or anything. So, but we try, and
you made a lot happen.
I know. Well, so I asked Leslie, I said, hey, you keep talking about being in country radio. I said, any chance you have connections to Stagecoach or Jelly Roll? And she's like, maybe. And she just kind of like didn't faze her. Yeah. And then Joe and her talking, maybe so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. So she's like, yeah. And so I told him about Maddox, and then I elaborated on what we do. And so she's like, oh my gosh, I would love to be able to help you with this. So she says, give me all the information on him and I'll work on it. And a lot of people say that. But then you have to remind them and bug them. And sometimes it doesn't happen. Yeah. And I appreciate it's good intent, but people have lives and they're not just thinking about us. So anyway, after getting through Maddox and all that, I was like, any chance like maybe the wrestler Sting? And she goes, my son was a professional baseball player. Maybe he has a connection. So long story short, she texts me that her son is reaching out to someone in the wrestling world. They should be contacting me soon. Okay. So I get a phone call from a man named Dale, and we start talking, and greatest guy, he wanted to know about what we do. He wanted elaboration, blah, blah, blah. Hour and a half later, I find out all about his parents. His dad played for the Angels and the Dodgers. And I'm not even going to repeat all the things he said because I'm going to get it wrong, and I don't know baseball well, but back in the day, he broke a streak of a batter by catching a ball. I played softball. It's not like I don't know how baseball's played, but I can't remember the terms of anything. But anyway, so his dad is very well known. And so he his dad had a lot of relationships back in the day, but so it kind of helped him. Like he was familiar with certain people from his dad, like as a boy, knowing them through his dad. And I say that to say that he ended up getting into wrestling, but it wasn't necessarily through his dad, but through his dad, he knew of a common friend of Hulk Hogan's. So he met Hulk Hogan in the airport. It's a very fun story. It's not mine to tell, but it was really, Hulk Hogan is basically how Dale got into wrestling. Dale's wrestling name was the Demon. Ooh. So you can imagine my quietness when he said that. He goes, I know. But he's a total Christian today. I don't know his testimony really, but I don't know if he was then, but it's kind of probably not, I would say. But he ended up becoming a Christian along the way, and he's just a great man of, great godly heart. And he said, don't worry. He's like, I'm a demon, but I do go to work. He retired and everything. But it was cool. There's just so many more layers to his story that is so cool that I'm doing it no justice. But just know that the guy Demon from back in the day, he's an amazing Christian man and very good guy. So he says, well, I do know Sting. And he said, so I would be happy to reach out to him. And so he gets back to me, and now Dale has become like part of my team. Like we're going back and forth. Longer story shorter is that Shelby, Cameron's mom, and I, and Maddox's mom, Rosario, we all went dress shopping on this Sunday afternoon. And, or it was Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, I get a phone call from Dale on Sunday morning, which was really random, especially knowing he's in Florida. Like, it was weird. So I answered. I'm like, hi, Dale, how's it going? And he's like, Charity, it's going great. Listen, Sting just called me. He's going to be in Downey, California. If Cameron and his family can get to him, they can have a meet and greet. And I was like, nice. What? So all because I asked this gal, Leslie, in Vegas, if she happened to know a wrestler. So anyway, I called Shelby and I said, Shelby, this is a surprise for Cameron. I said, we don't always present you guys with wishes before the event, but we'll make exceptions for opportunity. And so she was like, I'll get Matt and Cameron up and we will go. And so they surprised Cameron. Sting was amazing with him. And so he got to meet his little wrestling idol in person that day. But that's not all. That wasn't all. That's my slogan, my tagline. That wasn't all. So it brings me back to the morning of the gala or gala, depending on where you're from. And I wake up to a voice message from Sting himself.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I'm like, Brandy, Sting called me. He left me a message. She's like, who's Sting? So the sweetest man, also a Christian.
He seemed so sweet. He's so genuine.
So sweet. And he's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I've made arrangements for Cameron and his family to go to the show, the AEW show in Oceanside on Wednesday night. They're going to be ringside, and I think I've also got them going backstage. Mm-hmm. So I was freaking out. Like, literally the wish didn't stop where it was. And Sting had sent some autograph stuff for Cameron, for us to give to Cameron. But it's like, now he got to meet him. And when I was talking to Dale, he was saying how difficult it is for them to get all dressed up because they have face paint and then they have
so much makeup they wear.
Their equipment's all heavy until they, like, their dress equipment, then they get down to their little wrestling chonies. So I knew that he goes, it's not something we just do. So he goes, I'll let Sting know. Originally, before we knew he was going to meet him, I had asked if Sting could record a message. So Dale said, when he goes to one of his appearances, if it's before Stars, then he'll try to record one. So I kind of didn't expect it, especially after he met him in person.
Yeah.
So so as I'm talking, he says, if you send me your email, I will have my daughter-in-law who works for AEW. She'll send you the tickets. So I text him my number, and then he called me. And he called me while I was still there. So we have this conversation. So sweet. Just, I wish I could be there and but we got him all set up for Wednesday. And I said, oh, this is so awesome. His dad deploys the following week. So this is going to be really special. And so Sting's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy we could do this. And so I said, okay, so yeah. And I said, do you mind if I share your voice message to me? Because I would love for those tickets to come from you. And he said, sure, you can share it. And I said, okay, great. So get ready, go downstairs. And I'm downstairs for about, I don't know, an hour or so. And I get not even an hour, I think it was 30 minutes. I get a text message, a video message from Sting with all his makeup on.
Oh,
and
that's when you got it?
That's when I got it,
my
yes. And I know what it takes for him to do that. So I know how much he was just impacted by everything.
Sure. That's so sweet.
I know. And he sends this message and he totally personalized it. Hey guys, I have a birdie friend there, Charity, told me. And then Cameron, I'm sending you and your mom, Shelby, and your dad, Matt. And so I was so excited to play it. Then he sends me like another 20 minutes later, he sends me another video and he's like, I'm sending you Darby Allen. And I'm like, who's Darby Allen? He goes, again, Cameron will know, but he's one of his partners he's wrestled with. Darby sent a video on like a quad, but he wasn't all in his uniform and stuff. But that was so sweet too. It was like they went the extra mile.
They totally did, yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I do believe that it is, once you get a hold of them personally, it's just so hard. And they're hit up by so many people all the time. And I understand that. But celebrities, if one day any of you are listening,
Never know.
It's really, you have such an impact and you can make such an impact. And these people look up to you. Well, everybody does. I mean, everybody has their celebrity look up, right? And it's really disheartening when a celebrity is not kind and is not willing to do things. And I know they probably could be busy 24 hours a day doing things. And I get it. They have to pick and choose at a certain point. But also your fans are what got you there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's the reason you stay where you're at. So it's really, there really should be a good balance. And, people like Dale and Sting and Darby at this point understand that. It's disheartening when people get to a point where they just get turned off. And I'm sure there's a lot of that they have to deal with. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm not a celebrity, so I don't know. I'm saying things that probably they're like, if you only knew. But anyway, that was so special. And then Maddox didn't make it to Stars. Maddox loves the water. He loves, like I said, Zach Bryan and Jelly Roll. Yeah, Zach Bryan, Jelly Roll being his favorite. And then they haven't taken a true family vacation. So his mom, Rosario, and his little brother, Brixton, were there. And Jace had gone down to be with Maddox. So we FaceTimed them on stage. And it was just beautiful. And we surprised them with swimming with the dolphins and an annual pass to SeaWorld and Sesame Place. And, of course, Brixton will get a kick out of that. And then we are sending them to Stagecoach with an RV spot. They have an RV spot and 4 tickets.
So fun for the family.
Yeah, and that way Brixton can come because he's for free. They can bring someone to help with Brixton, and then the three, because in ADA at Stagecoach they only let one guest, but we got through to them and they approved 2 guests for Maddox, so his parents get to be with him in the ADA, which is pretty good seats too. So that's really special. And then we're sending them to Hawaii. A friend of mine and a lot of listeners know Aaron Hodges. He manages the Hyatt in Honolulu and Waikiki. So I called him and he was like, no brainer. Yes, send them to me and I will take care of them. So Maddox and his family get to stay. Shout out to Aaron and the Hyatt.
Way to go, Aaron.
Waikiki.
They're excited. How cute was Brixton at the very end? It was probably one of my favorite things.
So he's 6, I think he is.
He's so
He's
cute.
a doll.
He kept saying, oh, Maddox is excited because everybody couldn't see him.
Yeah.
But Maddox he was really responding to everything we were doing and saying, which was so cool.
And then after you gave the last gift and then it was done. And then what did he say?
Well, because I said to him, I said, what do we say here at at Charity or at Stars of the Valley. And he said,
love you.
That's not.
no,
At
yeah, he
first,
said,
he
that's
goes,
what-
I love you.
he said, I love
So-
you.
he's
And
so
that
cute.
was precious because he felt the love. That just shows he felt the
Yes.
love. And I said, you're right. That is what we say. But then I taught him, but that's not all.
He said, "That's not it.
Oh,
That's not it."
Yes. And
the
then
very
we
end.
asked him how he said it, and he said, that's not it. And then at the end I said, do you want to say anything? And he goes, that's not it.
It was so cute.
It was precious. So adorable.
I love that part. So
That was. And then we went to Jana, and Jana, she's an adult, and we were sending her we got our integrated medicine consultation with Dr. Jeff out of Texas. And apparently I heard through the grapevines she wants to pursue treatment with him. So that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then we're sending her to the Marietta Hot Springs Resort with 2 guests and a couple services and lunch and the whole day. And then we're sending her and her family to Carrie Underwood at Resort World. And we got her the meet and greet with Carrie. And then, because she loves Christian and country music. So who else is better? I mean, there's a lot of Christian country, but Carrie Underwood is amazing. And then we are sending her and her husband, Scott, to Greece, the country.
Wow.
Yeah,
So amazing.
so they're really excited about that.
I was watching them on stage instead of the screen, and she was so excited. It was so sweet.
It's a very overwhelming situation on stage, and people don't know how to react and respond. And I think a lot of times they're just in a cloud.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was saying that awkward for me is when the crowd doesn't respond to something that I say, and it's just dead space, and I have to okay, so next. It's so hard for me. My mom's like, don't worry, nobody's fazed by it. I'm like,
No.
I try to make it roll, but that's the hardest part for me, is just kind of moving from one wish to the next. It's easy when everybody claps for it, but when people don't clap, then it kind of gets awkward for me. But and the beneficiaries, like Cameron, got really overwhelmed. He cried a couple times and got a little nervous. That's a lot to take in, especially for kids,
Yes.
But then Jana, what she said was so
my
beautiful,
gosh.
and her story. We'll upload their videos too on the website so you can see their stories, and they were all great videos, really special. Then after that, we go into raising funds and the paddle raise. We had our new auctioneer, Jesse Hernandez. Oh my gosh.
She's
he
amazing.
Killed it.
Jesse is awesome.
I think it's Hernandez. Let me check before I get.
He just really knows what he is doing.
And he really knew what Charity for Charity is all about. He knew his stuff. He was so good.
He did. That's what I always ask. Anybody that's going to do that, if they would please read up and get to know us, because we're such a personal organization that if you don't have a connection, it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
And Jesse did his due diligence
He sure did.
and then asked us if he could be back next year. And we were
Did
like,
he?
are you kidding?
God,
We're
right?
definitely booking you next year.
And he was entertaining too.
He was witty and
Yes.
funny and had his,
We all loved him.
yeah, he was amazing. But as we were in that segment, Rosario, Maddox's mom, comes running up to me and said, Maddox is getting released from the hospital. I'm going to get him right now.
What? I didn't know
You didn't hear that?
No.
Yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, go get your baby.
Oh my gosh.
And so, oh my gosh,
I was. That.
And so I grabbed the mic from Jesse and I announced it. And the whole room just cheered. And Rosario ran out of there. It was the most beautiful. I said it was like the end of a love movie or something where you're going to get your baby. She got to go down and pick up Maddox and Jace from the hospital that night. And I was like, I sat in my room at the end of the night and I was like, we prayed so hard for Maddox to be there. Mm-hmm. We really wanted him there. And I know that Rosario would have loved to have her family as a unit. But I know that she also understands that God works in ways that we don't understand and we don't get to decide. God is the orchestrator of everything.
That's right.
So my perspective that I wanted to share was that it was a room full, and of course, a lot of believers and some unbelievers, but this is what I think. I think God was in that room so powerfully that night through the testimonials of the beneficiaries and through just sharing Charity for Charity in the hearts of all the people that are involved in it, including you guys, that when I announced that Rosario got to go get Maddox, that entire room witnessed and answered a prayer.
Oh, yeah.
And it was real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was what God was doing with that.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, Rosario, your son, your family, you were like I wanted to say it beacon, but I can't think of the word, but basically they were like the epitome of faith and, you know, living out what God asks of us is to like count on him, lean on him, trust him, his timing, his will, all those things. And so it was really cool. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah, that's
So happy.
So cool. And then she sent me a picture at the end of the night with Maddox and Brixton sleeping in bed together at home.
Oh, that's so
my
cute.
gosh.
Her heart was full,
What a
obviously.
blessing.
So sweet.
Such a blessing.
But she got to be there and experience it all. And I know she's excited to be a part of it from here on out. And her family was just so grateful. All the families were so loving and just so excited. You can imagine, you know, as the moms of these families, like the moms being like the grandparents, or in this case, Jana's moms, the mom and mother-in-law, you know, you're so helpless as a parent that you can't fix everything and there's nothing you can do. You just have to be there to support and love. So when other people love on your children, it just warms your heart and fills your heart. And when you see the work of Charity for Charity team, it's like, you're just like, and I got just thanked at the end of the night by, you know, it's hard for me because I know I'm the face of it, so it's really hard for me when people thank me because I'm like, it's not me and it's not me alone. And, you know, it's glory to God first. And then this team of Charity for Charity, that all of you guys that work long and tireless hours and have your heart in it. It's, you know, I cannot do this by myself. So it's hard for me, but I accept it on behalf of everyone. I accept the thank yous. But yeah, it's just like, you know, we don't even know the impact we're making. Well, sometimes we may never even know, but a lot of times we do get to hear special stories. And yesterday, we have our traditional brunch crew the morning after, and just hearing all the things that were going on in the last 2 days. Well, yesterday, I'm saying as sitting around the table yesterday of the previous 2 days, there were so many stories and you guys sharing some today, and then me sharing the little golden ticket story today. So many stories that it really just keeps reminding us that this is so much bigger than us, and it's God's deal.
Yes.
So we were really honored to have our mayor, Brendan Kalfas, our 2-term previous mayor and current city councilman, James Stu Stewart, aka Stu, there, and also Sheriff Chad Bianco, who is now running for governor. He had a lot of supporters there, and he donated through the sheriff's department the helicopter ride for the live auction. He also donated his presence, him and Denise's presence at one of our auction items through Old Town Ranch. Brandy and Ken Newman donated all of their covered wagons. I think I've talked about that before in here, haven't I? The covered wagons? Maybe not.
You might have.
I think so. Maybe
Because of
WowFest, maybe. Yeah. So they donated the covered wagons. I came up with this idea because Sheriff Bianco and Denise were willing to do like a meet and greet or any kind of thing through one of our Wish Brigaders, Melanie. And so I was like, it has to be something like that. Because I always feel bad. Like, okay, going back to celebrities, I'm like, I'm sure it's weird just to have a one-on-one with people. Like, what do you talk about? What do you do? What if you have nothing in common? Like, that's awkward. So I didn't want to just have like dinner with Sheriff Bianco because I didn't want anybody to be awkward.
Yeah. Right.
And so I started trying to think of how we could do something a little bit bigger. And then I thought of Brandy's Old Town Ranch with all the covered wagons and Sheriff Bianco. You know, he's kind of got that cowboy theme going on. And then I thought we could bring in barbecue food. And then one of our friend's sons works there and is a singer, so he could play music. And so this whole package came about. And and so Sheriff Bianco and Denise were like, yeah, we'd love to do it. And we gave them the option, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Like, just come for dinner. And they're like, no, we'll stay, the covered wagon. So
are they? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that package, Sheriff donated his time, and he's got to
So
have
sweet of
a
him.
really big schedule as he's campaigning. So it was really generous and really sweet. He's a very down-to-earth
generous.
man. I think anytime anybody's in the spotlight, they're a target.
Yeah.
Haters come out, critics come
Sure.
out. It's like, hey, you criticize, you try to do the job. It's not easy. And
Right.
public service is very hard. And the sheriffs have had a really rough go of it over the last few years. And so, but Sheriff Bianco allowed us to stay open, our small business to stay open during COVID. He let it be adults' decisions, whether they wanted to, patronize open businesses or not. I mean, everybody is grown up to make a choice. And
That's right.
I really respected that. And I didn't know him really before. I didn't think I'd met him, but I really appreciate that. And it's how we got through COVID. And so I owe a lot of our business survival to him, and our great supporters, customers. So anyway, I wish him all the best. I know it's going to be a rough go of it. And we'll just pray for him and for everybody that runs for office. It's not an easy task, but they do take up their time. They sacrifice their time and everything. So anyway, all right. Well, we ended the night with some great talent from Temecula's talented teens. They did some musical numbers, and then we partied the last hour on the dance floor, didn't we?
So fun, yeah.
That was a fun
Dance the night away.
Yep. It was a really fun night, and
Such a fun night.
y'all should make it out for the 20th. We're trying to sell out a full Pachanga ballroom, which is 1,000 seats for our 20th. So
We have 460 this year.
this year we had 460, and then we had all the volunteers that didn't actually sit. So we probably had about 500 in the room.
Oh, that's a lot.
And I don't expect after the 20th that we stay at a level of 1,000, but I really want all the past everybody's to come, and all the people that have said I want to come but I haven't made it.
Yeah.
Let's fill that room with 1,000 people, guys. So
Is it going
mark
to
your
be
calendars.
next February? The
It
end
will
of
be
February or beginning?
the next year is our 19th year, so you can come to that too. But 2007 is when we did our first Stars of the Valley, so it'll be 2027 for our 20th.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was our weekend. So it's a really great
great.
time. Oh, and
So
then at
fun.
the end of the night, I think it's funny. I have to share it because my bag got locked in the green room and nobody had the key. Actually, it becomes a ghost town. We're there later than the Pachanga workers, apparently. I didn't know that. And so I went to go get my bag and it's locked. And I had the key to my room at least, but I thought, I have nothing. And God only knows tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sitting in my room waiting for somebody to get a bag. And what if they need me to come down? I only had my dress.
Oh gosh.
And a lot of friends went to the round bar later, and I usually meet up, but I was like, I'm not going in my dress. And my shoes didn't fit. My feet were swollen.
Yeah.
So
All the things.
Same.
I know. So I go to the check-in and I'm like, hi, can someone just run? I'm thinking a bellboy can run to the green room with a universal key, get my bag. I can describe it for you and bring it to me or bring it to my room, but even better.
Even better.
So that way I can go up and be ready to change and come back down.
Perfect.
She's like, oh, well,
No.
I have to ask security to see if they can get your bag. So anyway, she calls the security guy over. He says, call so-and-so. About 15 minutes standing there, one of our beneficiary Jana's husband walks by and he's like, are you okay, Charity? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm all by myself, mind you, because friends are either in the round bar or up in their rooms or they went home. So I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. My bag's just locked. It's no big deal. And he goes, okay. So he heads into the casino. I think he was going to get food. And so the gal ends up telling me after 15 minutes, okay, they're going to try to find someone to go get your bag. Go ahead and have a seat. And I go, okay. And I'm like looking at there's this chair, like I have to walk. My feet don't want to walk anymore. I just wanted to go to my room. So I go, okay. So I walk over. It wasn't that far, trust me, but it was far when you had a whole 24 hours. So I go to sit in this chair by myself in my Cinderella gown.
It was such a beautiful dress, by the way.
It was. Thank you, Aria. Thank you, Oki and John from Aria Dress. So I go sit down there and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting and I'm like, this is hilarious. So I did do a story. You might have saw my story. I did do a story. I'm like, I was just surrounded by 500 people and now I'm alone in the reception or the entrance of Pachanga's hotel.
It was time for you to celebrate and you had to sit there.
You should have texted me.
I was like, well, so I was given 2 names that had keys to the green room, and I was like, oh, they're both gone, long gone. So as I'm sitting there, Scott walks by again, and he's like, Charity, are you okay? Like, yes, Scott, I'm just there. It's a whole, you got to jump through all the hoops to get my bag out of the green room. So I'm just waiting for them to get my bag. He's like, are you sure? I go, yeah, I'm fine. You're totally fine.
That's sweet.
So he leaves, and Jana ends up texting me the next night, and she's like, he was so worried and he felt really uncomfortable leaving you by yourself in the lobby.
Yeah.
And I said, that's very sweet, but no, I was fine. So anyways, as I'm sitting there and I do my second story, I hear, oh my gosh, your mom. And Luca and Izzy walk past, and they're like, what are you doing here? They had been in the round bar.
Yeah.
So I said, well, my bag, da-da-da. And I said, will you wait with me? And they're like, totally. So they waited with me. And then Mo, our race guy, Mo Ritson, he's a professional BMW race car driver.
Guy.
He's from the UK, but he races in Germany. He donated a couple of our live auction items, came out for the event. He's amazing. Look him up. He's 22-year-old, darling little heartthrob boy.
Such a sweetheart.
And his insides are as cute as his outsides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Kind guy.
Lori from Tourmaline Enterprise, she's the reason we know him. They met at Elvis's tour in Memphis.
Yeah, that's a great story.
It is a good story. So now he's a part of our family. But he walks up, and he had golfed with Luca, so he knew Luca. So he started talking to us, and he was sweet. He shared some really great sentiments of the event, and he's like, I can't put into words what this organization is. And so it was really cool. But anyways, so as we're talking to them, this security guard walks up, like straight face, like all official, like I did something wrong. And I was like, hello? And he's like, are you the one that needs the bag? And I'm like, yes. And he goes, okay. And then a bellboy comes up. So the security guy can't go get it himself.
Oh my goodness.
The bellboy guy can't go get it himself. They both have to go to the room and get it. And then I asked if they could take it to the room. That was a whole nother. So I was like, I'll just wait for it here. So I ended up waiting like an hour to get my bag. Yeah.
Oh my
Got my bag, and I went up and I said, I'm done for the night. I'm out.
I don't
So,
blame you.
yeah.
too
So
long.
I get up in the morning, check out, grab the truck and trailer, and off I go. Now, we were all meeting at Mexico Cafe for brunch. I just had a drink because I was going to have a drink. I had a Bloody Mary because I was going to meet Alex for lunch, but I didn't know that the driveway didn't go all the way around.
Oh, I don't
At
know.
Mexico Cafe.
Shoot. Oh, no.
So I drive the truck and trailer. Now I'm a total rookie at truck and trailer. Like, when you go backwards, it's like you're always going the wrong direction. So I'm trying to go, I get to a dead end, and cars are parked on the red line. So it's even smaller space than normal. I was getting so stressed. Cars were coming in, like not helping me, but mad I was in their way, trying to get around me. People were just like passing without like stopping. I was so stressed, you guys. And Michelle ended up getting there. She was helping me. And then, but it's like Mike Wooten was there. He's like, I don't know how to do a trailer better than you. And Natasha and Daniel.
And that's a big truck, let alone
a
trailer in the back.
Yeah. So needless to say, I was like, I almost just said, I'm not coming into brunch. I can't handle it anymore. I'm too tired and too stressed.
What did you do?
I got out. I finally did it. And I got out of the driveway. And then I went and parked next door and walked. I parked a little bit down and just walked over. But that's like, that's what happened.
Scary.
Everyone's like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you? And I'm always by myself in these moments, like getting the podium at the storage, But I'm a hard-headed girl, and I get stuff done.
Yeah.
And, that's why I think it's a blessing and a curse, because Alex knows I can do a lot by myself,
right.
so he
That's
lets
right.
me.
Girl power, baby.
But I wish I didn't. I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. I can't do it forever. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for letting us share our weekend with you. It was a really blessed weekend, and
It really was.
I hope y'all get online and check it out. In the next week or so, everything will be uploaded, and feel free to support and donate.
Heck yeah, why not?
Charityforcharity.org, starsofthevalley.org. All right, but that's not all. We're going to go back a couple of weeks. Rhonda's dying to know the rest of my story with
Please,
Alex.
I can't wait anymore. I want to
The
know
pregnancy
what
and everything. So it's definitely not all. We'll be back next week with Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos with humor and heart. Have a great week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.